Hi everybody, this is Diana, aka Pop Culture Diva 42, and this is going to be my hopefully very short review of the season 1 finale of Young Justice, the 26th episode called Auld, Acquaintance. Lovely, lovely pun. This finale overall to me felt very rushed. Doesn't mean that I didn't like it, but it ties into some of the problems that I talked about some time ago with Young Justice, that it feels the show is really trying to do so much that they cannot possibly have a worthy payoff by the end of it. It felt very rushed to me that this technology to control the Justice League was developed for a whole season, and these kids basically took it apart in 10 minutes. Precisely, there's a moment in the episode when the Young Justice members start to ambush the Justice League, and we see them placing these little things on their necks to counteract the technology that is controlling them. And then in the next scene or something, Alcolette says something like, "It's a good thing that we had somebody and we barely found them to develop this technology, or else something bad would have happened." And that whole bit is like, they rammed that in just so they could explain what those little thingies were. And not saying that they didn't need to do that, but the fact that they have that kind of technology would have required more time than just one really stilted line from Aqualad in order to be believable. Just the entire idea that Vandal Savage and his cronies have been developing this technology the whole season, and these kids come along and take it apart in like 5 minutes. That's one of the contributing factors to my feeling that this was rushed. But also, just look at what happens in this episode. Nothing happens but the Young Justice team against the Justice League. And granted, it had some very cool moments. I'll be the first one to say that Robin, Superboy pairing against Superman and Batman, it was really cool to see, and it's something that I think everybody's been waiting to see since the first episode. And most of the fights, most of the ways that the Young Justice members used to take down the Justice League, they were pretty believable. I don't have any major problems other than the fact that Red Arrow escaped 3 main Justice Leaguers right in the beginning of the episode. But that pretty much set the tone for how the entire episode would go, namely that, yeah, I know it's a show about Young Justice. Basically, it's a show about this team. It's not a show about the Justice League. So naturally, Young Justice is going to be favored in any kind of confrontation. Speaking of Red Arrow, yeah, they turned him into a clone. Now, while most of the episode was rushed, that's the one point where I was like, really? Really, do we need that? We've just established that there's this technology that controls uber superheroes down to the T, and why would they need to make a clone instead of just, using the real Speedy, the real Roy, the real person? In the next season, we may see Roy, the real Roy, become Arsenal, and the clone Roy will remain Red Arrow, and Arsenal should join the team, and Red Arrow should go about, minding his own business, fucking Cheshire or something like that. But yeah, that was just a weird plot development. Just felt a little bit tacked on. I think it was Deadpoolzilla that complained, or somebody, maybe Ziploc Gory, complained to me once that it feels very forced that basically everybody in the show, in the Young Justice team, is pairing up with somebody. You have Superboy and Miss Martian, Kid Flash and Artemis, obviously. Zatanna seems to have a thing for Robin, and Rocket, the newly added Rocket, which, by the way, performed very nicely in this episode. I really liked her. In her premiere episode, where she first showed up, I thought she was completely useless, but this time they really showed her versatility, the versatility of her power set, and I really liked Rocket in this episode. But going back to what I was saying, yes, definitely in this episode it felt completely forced when everybody was making out with somebody at the at the dawn of the new year, at New Year, like at the countdown, the New Year, the New Year's Eve, the thing. Very forced, very like watching, like you're intent on reminding me that this is a kids show, right? Because that oversimplifies the dynamic in the team so much just by pairing everybody together. Now, obviously, it shouldn't be taken so seriously. They're not actually pairing off. They're not actually starting getting intimate or something like that. But I agree that scene felt very forced. Now I'm happy that finally Superman showed Connor some appreciation, and I really liked their scene together. One of the coolest moments in the episode for me was when Robin and Superboy used a kryptonite bullet to take down Superman. Now, I didn't actually fire it at him, just, put it in his vicinity. But I don't know if DC or Warner Brothers ever officially stated that Justice League Doom takes place in the same universe as Young Justice, but that was the kryptonite bullet was from the Justice League Doom movie, because that's what Superman gives to Batman at the end of that story. So this pretty much asserts the fact that Justice League Doom and Young Justice are in the same universe, right? So in a nutshell, this was Young Justice against the Justice League. Perfect way to end the season, honestly. It was a perfect way to end the season. The finale couldn't have helped being rushed after they tried to do so much throughout the entire season, and this was a 26 episode season, so that was a lot of stuff to try to cover in a finale. So unfortunately, the rushness could not have been avoided. Some plot developments that felt a little bit tacked on could have been avoided, but I'm going to wait to see how they develop before I say that it's a complete fail. A couple of scenes were kind of forced, like I said, and overall it ended very, very satisfying to me.